Asterisk hey there, coin collectors and history buffs. Welcome back to the Old Charles. If you're new here, I'm your name, and this is Yamara. If you're into numismatics or just curious about the value of old coins, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into the United States Liberty Quarter Dollar from 1983. What is it worth? Is it a rare find or just another coin in your collection? Let's take a deep dive and find out. So, let's start with a quick refresher on the coin itself. The 1983 Liberty Quarter is part of the U.S. Quarter Series that was minted from 1932 to 1998. It features the famous image of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan. This particular design has been in use for nearly a century, so it's quite recognizable. On the obverse, we see George Washington, the first President of the United States, facing left. The words, Liberty, and the date, 1983, are inscribed, along with the motto, In God We Trust, to the right of Washington's portrait. This is a coin steeped in American history and tradition. On the reverse side, the eagle is depicted with outstretched wings, symbolizing strength and freedom. The inscriptions on the reverse include United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and Quarter Dollar. Now, you may be wondering, what makes the 1983 Liberty Quarter stand out? Is it rare, or is it just another piece of American currency? Let's talk about its value. When it comes to coins like the 1983 Liberty Quarter, which were widely circulated, their value is generally tied to their condition. A typical 1983 quarter that has been in circulation for years won't be worth much more than its face value of 25 cents. As you can see, this quarter is pretty worn down, and its value remains at 25 cents. That's the most common scenario for most of the 1983 quarters you'll encounter. But here's where things get interesting. If you happen to find one in better condition, say, a coin with little to no wear and tear, you might be looking at a slight premium over face value. A 1983 quarter in good condition might sell for $1 to $3 in today's market, depending on factors like demand and condition. Here's an example of what a near-mint condition 1983 quarter might look like. If you're lucky enough to have one of these in your collection, it might fetch more than just the regular 25 cents. Now, let's talk about something a bit more interesting: mint marks. The 1983 quarter was minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, with each coin carrying a different mint mark to indicate its origin. Coins minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, while those minted in Denver are marked with a small D near the bottom of the reverse. However, unlike some other years, the mint marks on the 1983 quarters don't dramatically change their value. Whether you find a P or a D, it doesn't significantly impact the price, especially when the coin is in circulated condition. Now, every coin collector knows that some coins contain rare errors or special varieties that can drive their value through the roof. While the 1983 Liberty Quarter isn't particularly known for having major errors, that doesn't mean there aren't any. One potential error to keep an eye out for is the double die variety, where the design is slightly misaligned due to a flaw during the minting process. While it's not extremely common in the 1983 quarters, it's still something to be on the lookout for. These errors can make the coin more valuable to collectors, sometimes worth hundreds of dollars or more, but finding one of these errors is pretty rare. If you do happen to find one, it's always a good idea to have it authenticated by a professional. Despite the 1983 Liberty Quarter being a relatively modern coin, it still holds value for collectors, especially those looking to complete their quarter collections. Some collectors might even be interested in assembling sets of quarters from every year, so the 1983 quarter, while not rare or particularly valuable on its own, can still hold a place in a complete set. Additionally, collectors who focus on higher quality specimens might be interested in those quarters in almost mint condition, which can sometimes fetch higher prices at auctions or from specialized dealers. So, what's the bottom line on the 1983 Liberty Quarter? If you find one in typical circulated condition, its value is just face value, 25 cents. However, if you come across one in excellent or near-mint condition, you could see a modest increase in its value, anywhere from $1 to $3. The 1983 Liberty Quarter is part of the long-standing tradition of U.S. coinage featuring George Washington on the obverse. The history of the quarter itself dates back to 1796, but the version we are discussing, featuring the profile of George Washington, has been in circulation since 1932. Here's a breakdown of the coin's history and significance. The Washington Quarter was introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Prior to this, the U.S. Mint produced the Standing Liberty Quarter, 1916 to 1930, which was replaced by the Washington design. This new coin was a way to honor Washington's legacy and solidify his role as the first president of the United States. The Washington Quarter was designed by John Flanagan, an engraver for the U.S. Mint. His design, which remains in use to this day, with a few modifications, shows George Washington's bust on the obverse, facing left. The reverse features an eagle in flight, clutching an olive branch and arrows, symbolizing peace and strength. The phrase, E pluribus unum, out of many one, appears around the eagle, emphasizing the unity of the states. Y 1983, the design of the Washington Quarter had been in circulation for more than 50 years. It remained largely unchanged until the early 1990s when special state quarters were introduced. The 1983 Liberty Quarter, however, was still part of the standard series that continued to be issued by the U.S. Mint. During the early 1980s, the U.S. Mint was producing large numbers of coins due to the growing demand for currency, so the 1983 quarters were widely circulated. The 1983 quarter, like other quarters of the era, was used in daily transactions and remains part of the fabric of American commerce. By this time, the U.S. had already seen inflation and economic changes, so the quarter was used in purchases ranging from small items like newspapers to larger goods. While the coin itself wasn't notable for being part of any special commemorative issue, it was a continued symbol of American values, with George Washington's image at the forefront of U.S. currency. In 1999, the U.S. Mint began the 50-state quarters program, which featured a unique quarter design for each state. This ended the era of the regular Washington Quarter design on the reverse side, though George Washington's portrait on the obverse remained unchanged. Although the 1983 Liberty Quarter doesn't carry the high value of certain commemorative coins or rarer issues, it is still an important piece of U.S. coinage history. It represents a time when the U.S. Mint was focused on creating a steady flow of currency for the American economy. For collectors, the 1983 Liberty Quarter is often viewed as a common piece in a complete set of quarters, but certain errors and higher quality specimens can make the coin more valuable. Though not rare by itself, it holds significance for those collecting quarters or coins from specific years. The condition of a 1983 Liberty Quarter, or any coin, plays a critical role in determining its value. And the eagle on the reverse may be worn down significantly, making them hard to distinguish. The coin is still heavily worn, but most of the design elements are still visible. The word Liberty and the year 1983 may be readable, but the eagle on the reverse may show some smoothing of the feathers. The coin shows moderate wear, but the details are still visible. The facial features of George Washington and the eagle on the reverse should be fairly well defined. Most of the lettering and numbers on the coin will be legible. At this level, the coin has light wear, but the details are still sharp. The design elements, including Washington's facial features and the eagle's feathers, are easily identifiable. The coin shows very little wear, and all design details are clear and well defined. The coin may have minor signs of handling but still retains much of its original luster. Uncirculated coins, as the name implies, have never been used in regular transactions. These coins might have been stored in a safe or collection and show no signs of wear. For a 1983 Liberty Quarter, a coin in this condition can have significantly more value than a circulated one. These coins may show slight imperfections or contact marks from being handled, but the design remains sharp, and the coin is free from significant wear. An uncirculated 1983 quarter will look almost as good as it did the day it was minted. Coins graded MS-64 or MS-65 are in near-perfect condition, with only a few tiny imperfections or light contact marks. The luster will be bright, and the design will be crisp and clear, often with no visible wear. A 1983 quarter graded MS-66 or higher is nearly flawless, with no noticeable imperfections or marks, and excellent eye appeal. These coins are rare and highly prized by collectors. A proof coin is specially made for collectors and is struck with a higher quality process. Proof coins are not meant for circulation and often come in a shiny, mirror-like finish. The 1983 quarter, however, was not part of a regular proof set, but proof versions could still be available from special mint sets or collections. Proof coins in this grade show no visible imperfections, but minor handling marks or defects may be present. These coins are high quality with sharp, clear details, and minimal flaws, perfect for display. A proof coin graded PR-66 or higher will have a flawless appearance and be free from any marks or imperfections. These coins can command a premium due to their high visual appeal. The condition of a coin is arguably the most important factor in determining its market value. For example, a typical circulated 1983 Liberty quarter may only be worth its face value, 25 cents, or perhaps $1 or $2 at most, especially if it's not in very good condition. However, if the coin is in uncirculated or mint condition, MS 65 or higher, it could be worth significantly more, often between $5 to $10 for coins in perfect condition, depending on demand and market fluctuations. For proof coins, if they exist for the 1983 quarter and are in pristine condition, they can be worth $10 or more. Sometimes even higher if it's part of a special set or has rare characteristics. Good to extremely fine generally have a value close to face value, 25 cents, but may fetch a small premium in better condition, e.g., $1 to $3. Can be more valuable, with coins in top grades, MS 65 and up, being worth several dollars, if available, are more valuable and can be worth anywhere from $10 and up depending on their condition. Ultimately, the condition of the coin is key in determining its worth. The better the condition, the higher the value, so collectors should always take care to preserve their coins to maintain their worth.